Yep, all my beautiful people. How are you doing today? And welcome to the alternate point of view. My name is Tracy Lee. I want to say, first of all, thank you so much and welcome to everyone who has been tuning into this channel, who has been joining my lives, and welcome anyone who is new to this channel, any new subscribers that I have. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. God bless you all. And I want to say, anyone who has just been leaving comments, thank you so much. I appreciate any and all comments. I'm trying to answer every one of your comments personally because I think that is super important. And I thank you all very much. So again, welcome to the alternate point of view. You have arrived here to this channel for a reason, and I appreciate it. And my name again is Tracy Lee. So today, you guys, we are going to talk about the Karen Read timeline because Monday trial starts back up again. And I feel like we need to refresh this trial. What is going on? What the heck is going on? Because this trial has been going on now for 5 weeks. The predicted amount of time that this trial was supposed to have was 6 weeks, and the prosecution is still going. And I also feel like it's important because, well, the prosecution's still going, and we've still not seen the elusive Michael Procter. Who is Michael Procter, right? Well, we are going to get to that. But for now, let's get into this timeline of events. And again, I'm going to say this. I hate to beat a dead horse, but I really feel like in this trial, again, that John O'Keefe has been lost in all of this. And I really hope that everyone is keeping his family in their prayers because I really do believe that John O'Keefe has been lost. He is never going to get justice. I believe this trial is a sham. I believe a lot of people are protecting one another, and I don't know why. I don't know what happened to John O'Keefe. Again, I've told you all the 3 different scenarios that I feel could have happened in my opinion. I am not an expert by any means. I'm putting that out there. This is just my alternate point of view. It could have been that Karen possibly hit him. If that is part of the scenario, it could have been that he tripped on his own in the snow, hit his head, possibly even on the fire hydrant. Maybe could have been that he, was left out in the cold because of falling, hitting his head. That's a possibility. Or he went into the party and there was an altercation and they ended up leaving him out in the snow. I don't know. There are all kinds of different scenarios that there could have been, but those are the 3 major ones that I believe. So if anyone out there has any other thoughts or concerns or comments or anything they want to add to it, please let me know. But those are the things that I think that possibly could have happened. So let's get into this timeline, you guys. This is what I want to read that is on the interwebs. And then I want to get into who in the heck is Michael Procter and why hasn't the prosecution called him yet? So we're going to talk about the timeline. So far, as this article reads from theboston.com, I want to make sure that we give them credit. This is their article, not mine. I am reading from it. Months after authorities' unsealed letters confirmed the existence of a federal probe, there is a federal probe into the murder case against Karen Read. The defendant herself allegedly leaked information about the investigation to a Turtle Boy blogger who, if you recall, he was kicked out of the trial. Aidan Kearney, according to new court documents, using her college friend as an intermediary. Reed sent Kearney information regarding the federal investigation in real time beginning in April, according to a search warrant application filed in Norfolk Superior Court last month. Reed would allegedly text her college friend on encrypted messaging app. Sorry, my sound is messing up. Reed would allegedly text her friend on the encrypted messaging app Signal If you're not familiar with that, it's another app that people use, kind of like WhatsApp, Telegram, uh, just some sort of chatting app. And the friend would copy and paste the message or forward a screenshot to Kearney. That's Turtle Boy, the person that they kicked out of the trial. Investigators say those tips were just a fraction of the non-public information that flowed between Reed and Kearney as the Mansfield woman's case inched closer to trial. Now, this was before the trial actually started, and he was in the actual courtroom during the trial. Prosecutors allege that after a night out with friends, here we go, the 43-year-old backed her SUV into her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, and left him to die outside a home in Canton. A home, okay, there's a little more to it than a home, on January 29th, 2022. But Reed's lawyers have alleged a cover up, offering a theory that O'Keefe was beaten inside the home and attacked by the family's dog. Okay, the family dog, I am very bothered that they keep bringing this dog up, but there is suspicion about the dog because the family got rid of the dog that they had for 7 years. Kearney, for his part, is facing a slew of charges after he was accused of intimidating witnesses in the Reed's case. While details about the scope of purpose of the federal investigation remain scant, court documents, news reports, and attorney statements reveal further information about how word spread of the inquiry into Reed's case. Here's an abridged timeline. So, April 12th, 2023, Reed's defense team files a motion in Norfolk Superior Court, saying they uncovered new evidence that will clear her name. So they have evidence, they say, that will clear her name, right? And the new evidence, they claim that hours before O'Keefe's body was found outside, fellow Boston police officer, now here we're getting into it, right? This isn't just a house. This is fellow police officer, Boston police officer's house, uh, Brian Albert's home. Albert's sister-in-law, Jennifer McCabe, if you've been keeping up with the trial, both of these people have been on the stand already, made a Google search at 2:27 a.m. for, quote, Haas, H-O-S, long to die in the cold, unquote. Prosecutors dispute that timestamp, but the revelation kickstarts widespread interest and speculation in Reed's case. Now, I'm going to tell you why it's important that the prosecution is disputing this timestamp. In a little bit, I'm going to explain that. Why is the prosecution disputing this timestamp? It's very important why they're disputing. On April 13th, 2023, while texting about the case with a friend of Kearney's, Reed's college friend sends a message saying the feds are involved, quote unquote, and describes how people connected to the case, quote unquote, going down. April 18th, 2023, Kearney publishes the first article in his series of Reed's case, quote, Canton Cover Up Part 1. So this is a long series, by the way, you guys. Corrupt state trooper helps Boston cop cover up murder of fellow officer, frame innocent girlfriend, unquote. April 20th, 2023, Kearney publishes an article about the federal grand jury investigation titled, quote, Multiple Witnesses in Home Where John O'Keefe Was Killed, Subpoenaed by Federal Grand Jury. FBI visits home's basement floor, reportedly replaced, unquote. In the article, he writes, quote, breaking news, according to reliable sources close to the matter, a federal grand jury has subpoenaed multiple witnesses who were in the home of Boston police officer Brian Albert on the night fellow BPD officer John O'Keefe was killed. April 23rd, 2023, Reed's college friend texts Kearney about an investigation conducted by the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of Massachusetts. The friend writes, quote, not public. The feds have been involved longer than anyone is likely guessing, unquote. Whoa. Late April 2023, Norfolk District Attorney Michael Morrissey's office learns that witnesses in Reed's case have received subpoenas to appear before a federal grand jury soon after their first assistant U.S. Attorney, Joshua Levy, contacts the DA's office to suggest the federal prosecutors are conducting an investigation that may involve several witnesses in Reed's case. April 28, 2023, Reed's college friend has the following text exchange with Kearney. Friend, quote, but I don't understand why he doesn't mention more than the feds are involved. The first assistant U.S. attorney, they don't shoot and miss. They have a case and way more evidence than we do. I know this is a fact. Jen McCabe testifies this coming week. I'm not sure about the others, unquote. So this has been going on like all year in 2023. Kearney, has there been any new information about the FBI investigation and handing out subpoenas? Friend, no new info, just that they are already present and the case to the grand jury as we speak. And the DA's office has been informed that is confirmed 1000%. May 3rd, 2023. Reed is back in Norfolk Superior Court for a hearing. Addressing the court, defense attorney Alan Jackson states, it's been reported that the federal authorities have now gotten involved and the circumstances surrounding this case and have impaneled a federal grand jury to investigate some of these circumstances. But Karen Read should not have to wait for the feds to figure out which heads should roll. That's a serious accusation. In July motion, fellow defense attorney Dan Yannetti clarifies that Jackson's statement was not the defense revealing publicly that a federal grand jury had been impaneled, something about which the defense team would have no knowledge. Instead, as Attorney Jackson stated, this was Miss Reed's counsel reiterating what had already been publicly reported. May 7th, 2023, after Kearney mentions a rumor that 20 FBI agents were seen in Canton for possible arrests, Reed's college friend replies in part, not public. Levy confirmed no swarms of FBI were in Canton 2 days ago. The college friend also sends a follow-up message, no rush, but you can tell him Josh Levy is the first assistant. There's only one first assistant, and he doesn't typically prosecute. Like he never prosecutes, he just delegates to the assistants within the division, but he's running this grand jury. May 18th, 2023, Morrissey asked the U.S. Department of Justice of Professional Responsibility to look into federal prosecutors' investigations into the Reed case and request that the probe be transferred to another office without history of conflict, bias, and abuse of prosecutorial discretion. He cites past conflicts with then U.S. Attorney Rachel Rollins, who formally resigned on May 19th, after federal watchdog determined she abused her power, and federal prosecutor whose wife was once an attorney in the DA's office. This is like, what? This is crazy. August 3rd, 2023, Jay Macklin, general counsel for the Executive Office for United States Attorney, tells the DA's office that federal officials see no basis for recusing the Massachusetts U.S. Attorney's Office from the investigation into the Reed case. December 5th, 2023, Boston 25 News reports that U.S. Attorney's Office is conducting an inquiry into the Reed's arrest and prosecution, citing Morrissey's then sealed May 18th letter to the DOJ. December 2023, investigators speak with Kearney's former girlfriend, who accused him of assaulting her after she received a subpoena. Now, Kearney is Turtle Boy. To appear before a grand jury in connection with his witness intimidation case. She says Kearney told her Reed's lawyers were working with the U.S. Attorney's Office, specifically Levy, who is now acting U.S. Attorney. The woman also states the federal law enforcement had interviewed Reed. Now we're into 2024. January 18th, 2024, during a hearing in Norfolk Superior Court, Yannetti suggests the federal authorities may soon release information from their investigation to attorneys in Reed's case. He also alleges the letters between the DA's office and federal officials paint Morrissey as the investigation's target, a claim that the U.S. Attorney Office denies. In connection with this matter, at no time has the U.S. Attorney's Office named any person or entity as a target of an investigation to anyone, the office says in response. January 22nd, 2024, a state judge unseals several letters between the DA's office and the federal authorities concerning Reed's case. The letters confirm the existence of a federal inquiry, though they do not specify the investigation's focus. In a statement the following day, Morrissey's office asserts that the federal interference is in an open state murder case is highly unusual, if not unprecedented. So there is a federal investigation going on for the Karen Read murder investigation. The federal government is involved in this investigation. Why is that? Because there's something fishy going on amongst all of this chatter, amongst all of the Alberts and the McCabe's and everything. There's this whole thing going on that they're trying to figure out. How did they come up with Karen Read? How did they come up with, what's going on, right? So now we have to look at the timeline of the night that John O'Keefe actually, passed away. What happened? How did John O'Keefe pass away? So let's see how in the world John O'Keefe passed away. So we're going to look at the timeline of John O'Keefe, what happened to John O'Keefe, and how this happened to him. So I'm going to pull up the timeline of John O'Keefe so we can see what happened to John O'Keefe. All right. So I want to show you guys the night, January 29th, 2022. This is what we're talking about. Okay. So January 29th, 2022. Okay. She's being accused of hitting him with her car, but there are no marks on his body, right? This is the thing. There's no marks on his body. So we are here at trial. We're in the 5th week. We're going into the 6th week. We're starting Monday, full day. Okay. Shortly after midnight, Karen Read, John O'Keefe, and a group of friends went to the waterfall and grill in Canton on the night of January 28th. According to the prosecutors, Read consumed several alcoholic beverages. So they say she had a clear beverage. They don't know if it's water, if it's vodka, gin. They don't know. Reed drove O'Keefe to the home of Boston police officer Brian Albert. That is where police said people from the bar were all meeting up to kind of have like an after party, okay? 1 a.m., court documents reveal later that in the weeks before and evening, the hours up to the night out, text messages between Reed and O'Keefe, as well as voicemails, showed a strained relationship. Investigators said that around 1 a.m. on January 29th, Reed allegedly left O'Keefe a voicemail that said, "You are a effing loser, F yourself, and John, I effing hate you." They seemed to be getting along that night. According to all the testimony on the stand, everybody said they were laughing. They had a good relationship. Everyone said everything was great. I don't really know where all of this FFF came from, but apparently everything was wonderful. So I don't know where this all came from, unless she was drunk. I don't know. 4 to 5 a.m. At 4:23, while heavy snow was falling, O'Keefe's niece called Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert's sister-in-law, and a friend of O'Keefe's. She said Reed was distraught because O'Keefe had not come home and was not answering his cell phone. According to court documents, McCabe said she heard Reed screaming, "John didn't come home. We had a fight." Around 5 a.m., Reed called another woman whose husband was friends with O'Keefe. Prosecutors alleged that Reed said while they searched, "What if he's dead? What if a plow hit him? I don't remember anything from last night. We drank so much, I don't remember anything." 5:07 a.m., Reed, McCabe, and the third woman, Carrie, we know now, went to look for O'Keefe. Prosecutors said Reed mentioned to the woman that she had a crack in her taillight. Again, I've said this in another video. Why is that relevant and why would she say that? That makes zero sense. And wondered if she could have hit O'Keefe. At 5:07 a.m., a surveillance camera at O'Keefe House shows Reed SUV coming extremely close to O'Keefe's SUV in the driveway. Prosecutors say no taillight pieces were found in the driveway of Reed's. Defense argues the vehicle did strike the SUV, breaking the taillight and providing an explanation for damage to the SUV. Now, I find it odd that they say that her SUV possibly hit his SUV in his driveway. Was there any damage to John O'Keefe's SUV? And was there any taillight pieces found in John O'Keefe's driveway? I don't know. No one is explaining this. 6 a.m., Reed sees O'Keefe lying in the snow. Now, remember, I've said this in my past videos. She claimed that Jennifer McCabe claims that Karen Reed sees John laying in the snow from the back seat of the car that they're riding in while they're driving, and the snow is coming down, hitting the car, and it's basically a blizzard, okay? And she sees John laying in the snow, who, by the way, both Jennifer McCabe and Carrie say he was covered into 3 to 4 inches of snow, okay? So 3 to 4 inches of snow. He's covered in 3 to 4 inches of snow, but yet she saw him in the snow and was able to, as I've stated before, uh, run, jump out of the car, run to John, pull his shirt up and pull her shirt up and lay her body on top of him, screaming her full head off. Okay. This is quite the testimony. And that she repeatedly says, "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him." I'm just in awe at this testimony. Um, Also, that testimony changed because it went from "I hit him, I hit him, I hit him" to "Could I have hit him? Did I hit him? What if I hit him?" So all of these terms and sayings are coming out and changing over time. So prosecutors and defense attorneys agree that at some point the morning O'Keefe was killed, someone Googled "how sick long to die in the cold." The sides agree on when the search was made. Prosecutors say the search happened at 6:23 a.m., 6:24 a.m. after O'Keefe's body was found. The defense says a federal forensic expert determined the search was made at 2:27 a.m. before police were alerted that O'Keefe's body had been found. Now, why is that important? That's important because it was made on Jennifer McCabe's phone, which she deleted. And cellulite, I know that sounds crazy, right? We ladies out there know what cellulite. But cellulite is the company. It is the company. It is the search that all prosecutors and district attorney's office. It is what all uh, uh, DA's offices, police. It is what every one of them use to extract information from cell phones, to get that accurate information, to pull text messages, search information, everything from cell phones. Okay. That is their live or die by information. Okay. Well, the prosecution is actually questioning that information. Okay. I'm sorry. This is the information that you use to pull from, to ensure that you are getting the most accurate data. Okay. And you're going to question the defense saying that that search was made at 2:27 a.m. I'm not really sure how they're going to question that when that is the very way they pull data off of cell phone, computers, everything. Okay. I'm just saying, how can you question that that search was on there at 2:27 a.m., but you're not questioning the 6:23 and 6:24 search when you're using the exact same data pool that the defense is using? And you're not questioning why Jennifer McCabe deleted these these searches. Also, Jennifer McCabe stood on that stand and lied. She said, "I did not delete anything from my phone other than text messages between her and her children." Isn't Allie one of her children? She deleted those text messages as well. So this is very strange. And it does seem like Jennifer McCabe is spinning this story of the I hit him. Could I have hit him? Did I hit him? I hit him. She's spinning this entire narrative, and everyone is saying what she is saying. So we're seeing all these pieces come together, and it's all coming to Jennifer McCabe, because Jennifer McCabe was in the car with Karen when Karen supposedly miraculously saw John in the snow when he was completely covered in the snow. And Jennifer McCabe was the one who searched the how long does it take to die in the cold on her phone at 2:27 a.m. And when the McCabes and the Alberts were communicating with each other all into the hours of the morning before Karen realized that John was missing. And all of those messages, all of that phone data is magically missing. And oh, by the way, all of their phones are magically missing. All of their phone numbers are magically missing. Everything is missing because they changed their phones, they upgraded their phones, or like Brian Higgins went so far as to throwing away his phone and getting a new number even. But he somehow managed to save those saucy text messages between him and Karen Read. But he got rid of everything else. He's a federal agent. I'm pretty sure he knows what he's doing. And they all did this just a day or two prior to getting the notification from the federal government to not get rid of any information. Is that a coincidence or not? In the legal field, we all say there is no such thing as a coincidence, just FYI. So on January 31st, an autopsy is completed on O'Keefe, and prosecutors said the medical examiner ruled the death as blunt impact injuries to the head and hypothermia. So they say the medical examiner did not find any obvious signs of an altercation or a fight. Reed appears in the Stoughton District Court for the first time, pleading not guilty to manslaughter, motor vehicle homicide, and leaving the scene of a motor vehicle collision causing death. June 10th, 2022, she is indicted on charges of second-degree murder, manslaughter while operating under the influence of alcohol, and leaving the scene of personal injury and death. Reed is arraigned on the new charges of O'Keefe's death. She pleaded not guilty in Norfolk County Court and was held on a $100,000 bail. Reed made bail and has been out on release ever since. So she claims she's being framed. I'm going to summarize this. She has Jackson and Yannetti that are focused on O'Keefe's arm injuries. They say as part of a dog bite, dog scratches. They're blaming the family dog. Again, I'm kind of unsure about this dog situation. I have 2 dogs. They scratch me all the time. Those don't look like dog scratches or marks to me. I could be wrong. But I wish they'd leave the dog out of it, but that's just because I'm a dog person. So I could be wrong. So what I just find hard to understand, okay, so we have seen that the McCabes and Alberts are very, very tight, okay? Uh, the judge is very odd to me. She has denied the prosecution the request for a gag order. She has denied saying that the witnesses are being harassed. Um, she's also countered saying that the prosecutors are controlling the narrative. Um, she also, the Turtle Boy guy that we just talked about earlier, was arrested for witness intimidation, and I believe that's because he was being a reporter and really, really digging for some information to try to find out like what in the heck is going on with this trial, what's going on with this case, where is the evidence. Now, the evidence. So I did a video about uh I've never seen a crime scene done this way. And this is just, I did go to school for criminal justice and I concentrated in forensic science. So um what happened at the crime scene? So here you have well, they didn't think it was a crime scene, I guess, in at first. Okay, so they go to the scene where John O'Keefe is found in the snow. They have EMS, they have a couple police cars, they have Karen Read losing her mind in the front yard, screaming and yelling back and forth, right? Um, and they do call the state troopers. Uh, and the state troopers don't come. They said no, which is odd. So Canton police call the state troopers to come in and investigate this scene and say, should we block it off as a crime scene? And they said no. So they take John's body to the hospital, and everyone leaves the scene. Jennifer McCabe goes into the Albert home, supposedly, as she says on the stand, goes all the way into their home, all the way into their bedroom, where the Alberts apparently slept through all of these ambulances, fire trucks, cops, and Karen screaming her full head off in their front yard, slept through it all. Chloe, the dog, who is not friendly, was also supposedly in their bedroom, and Jennifer McCabe is able to just barge into their bedroom and wake them up in the middle of the night. And Chloe, the dog, does nothing. She's not friendly, remember. She does nothing, doesn't react. She didn't even notice the dog. And the Albert slept through the whole thing, and they get woken up by Jennifer McCabe. And they didn't hear any of this going on in their front yard. Yeah. And by the way, where is John's shoe? Where's his belt? Apparently, he lost his belt. Where's his hat? Um, Very odd. Very, very odd. And she was supposed to have hit him at like 24 miles an hour. He's 6'2" or something, over 200 pounds. Um, there were also other vehicles lined up on the side of the road, and it's snowing and it's up a hill. So I'm just trying to figure out the logistics and the mathematics of this. It doesn't make sense. I'm no math whiz, and I'm no trust me, I'm not. But how does any of that make sense? Also, there's no damage to John's body. It's just the back of his head. He has a deep laceration to the back of his head. Um, and he obviously is cold. His body temperature was about 88 degrees, I believe. So um it, he wasn't out there but a few hours, possibly, because again, Jennifer McCabe called his phone numerous times. Also, she deleted those calls. She deleted the how long does it take to die in the cold. um she it's like Jennifer McCabe does a lot of moving pieces around here. But what makes this more interesting is not only did the state police not come to investigate this, but what happens later is the leaf blower. After they take John O'Keefe's body, uh, they have a leaf blower that one of the guys goes and gets from his own house, right? And then he's like, "Hey, I have a leaf blower at my house. We'll just leaf blow all of this stuff from 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 the from where John's body was, and we'll just move the snow." Uh, no. These are cops, right? This makes no sense. Who does an investigation this way? And then they take red Solo cups to scoop up what they think is blood. What? Um, and then they put the blood in the red Solo cups into a stopping shop bag or stop and go bag, paper bag, and they put all of the cups, each and every single one of the cups are right beside each other in the same bag, not sealed in any way, and and all in the same bag. So it makes zero sense, you guys. You don't handle evidence that way. No way in the world do you handle evidence that way. And and then they take that evidence and they impound Karen Reed's vehicle, and they supposedly, after leaf blowing all the snow down to the grass, as they said on the stand, find 45 pieces of taillight. Now, keep in mind, your taillight is made of some poly plastic that is really hard to break, especially at only 24 miles an hour. Okay. You have to back into something pretty hard to break taillight and into 45 pieces. It would more likely come out in like a giant piece if it were to break. And they say they found 45 pieces, even though John had no signs of any markings on his body of any kind. I'm just wondering, what type of taillight did she have? I mean, she has a fairly new Lexus, right? Sorry, my microphone keeps getting static. So what in the world is this taillight, you know, getting? What kind of taillight does she have that they can find 45 pieces well after uh this incident, and they still don't find his shoe. Don't find his belt that somehow magically blew off of his pants out of every loop, and they don't find his hat. Also, um they have the evidence in the bag open next to her vehicle in the garage at the police department. So then all of a sudden you get this trooper Proctor. Now, who is Michael Proctor? Well, that's crazy. Funny that you ask. Michael Proctor is very, very, very good friends with the Alberts and McCabe's. So, I mean, he's such good friends that he's been to their weddings, they watch his kids, uh, and such good friends that apparently, um, Michael Proctor, he's doing all the questioning and all the interviewing. He never went into the house of the Alberts. He questions everyone for this case, lackadaisically. He also searches Karen Reed's phone without a warrant, by the way. And there are text messages circulating from Michael Proctor saying he's looking for nudes on her phone. What? How did this even go to trial? Also, there are text messages between Michael Proctor and the Alberts where he's basically saying, "Don't get me a gift. Get it for my wife instead," because they're thanking him for getting the Alberts out of this jam. This is just shocking. It is absolutely shocking that this is actually gone to trial, that it even made it this far. And the craziest part is that Michael Proctor, who is the center of the investigation, the lead investigator on this investigation, is actually under investigation by Internal Affairs right now for his behavior during this investigation. And he's yet to be called to the stand by the prosecution. So you know what that means? That means that if he does not get called to the stand by the prosecution, do you know who's going to call him to the stand? It's going to be the defense. And yeah. So the prosecution is in some murky waters here. So if the prosecution does not call him to the stand and the defense does, and the prosecution does not get ahead of this, it's going to look pretty yucky for the prosecution. Also, Brian Higgins can quite possibly be investigated because he is a federal ATF agent and he did use federal uh, paid for equipment and his federal position to destroy his cell phone during an open investigation. And he said on the stand, he lied on the stand under oath. So I would be curious to see what happens to Brian Higgins and if since there is actually a federal investigation into this, what will happen to Brian Higgins, if anything. And also, uh, again, I'm going to say this. Uh, this is really sad. Brian Porter is actually um, investigating a trial right now. I mean, a trial. He's investigating a double homicide right now. He is still on full duty. So he's investigating a double homicide right now, even though he's under investigation by internal affairs. So it's crazy to know that this man is still out there investigating cases and has his hands in cases when he's under investigation by internal affairs. To me, I think he should be suspended and until the investigation is over. But I find it odd that this case even made it this far, and they literally had tunnel vision and put it on her. And I also, again, will say this, and I will say this until I'm blue in the face. John O'Keefe has been forgotten, and John O'Keefe will never get justice. And if Karen Read is not acquitted in this and she is found guilty, it will be terrible because she has been railroaded. And I do not understand what happened. No one will ever know because this case will be closed. And the district attorney's office, the police department in Canton, the state troopers, no one will ever investigate what happened to John. And it's really sad because, we all know that the police protect their own and they are protecting their own. They're not protecting John O'Keefe, though. And the O'Keefe family will never know what happened to John O'Keefe, who was a great person by all, you know, by everything that we've heard about him. His niece and nephew got on the stand the other day. Their testimony wasn't allowed to be seen or heard, and unfortunately, they've had a lot of contact with the McCabe's, especially Jennifer McCabe, and they testified that Karen made the same comments of, "Did I hit him? Could I have hit him?" When the very night of the event, neither child said that. They didn't say that until they later, much later, until after they actually had a conversation with Jennifer McCabe, which goes to show you that something is going on. I don't know what's happening. I think the poor kids have lost both of their parents, and now they've lost the uncle that took them in. And this whole situation is just absolutely awful all the way around. And again, these kids are suffering. The O'Keefe family is suffering, and John, I just don't will ever he won't ever get peace, real peace. So thank you so much for listening to this breakdown. I feel like we had to go all the way back. This trial's been going on for 5, now into 6 weeks, and it should have been only lasting 6 weeks, but apparently it's going to last a lot longer. So we will see who's going to call Michael Procter, the elusive Michael Procter. So let me know what you guys think. Leave it in the comments. I will probably see you guys Monday for a live, hopefully, fingers crossed. And we will watch the Karen Read trial. But now that we're all caught up, we can know what's going on. So I appreciate you all very much. Thank you for watching. And kasamnida.